Sweet, bro. Great
Sure.
shit. That was a whole fun one, right?
Yeah.
What is vibing? This is Vish, and today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
Indian guru tries to convince Gordon Ramsay to be vegetarian.
I'm a meditation coach and I've got hundreds of people on their meditation journeys. If you have any questions about it or want a one-on-one session with me, either comment down below or message me on Instagram at VishVibez. Sadhguru is a yogi, mystic, and visionary who's truly enlightening the world. And today, I'm here with one of my best friends, Keith.
Hey, my name is Keith. Keith_Lau on Instagram and TikTok. I have a digital media agency called Hook Media at Hook Media Marketing on Instagram and at Hook Media on TikTok.
Check out his content and check out the marketing if you need his help. And with that, let's get straight into the video.
My guru's name is Sadhguru, and he's a lot racier than your average yogi. I've heard his cooking is the best in the state.
It's not the kind of transport I expected you to use to get around.
No, people always have this idea, being holy means being impractical.
Yes. Yeah. You drive slowly. I've got a wife and 4 kids to look after.
I have a wife and 1 million children.
Sadhguru's ashram is the Aisha Center. It gets over 700,000 visitors a year. He's a popular Maharishi, and he's looking a bit more serious now.
I'm very excited to be here. More nervous than excited. Never gone 2 days of my life without eating meat.
Your system is essentially designed to handle vegetarian diet.
Right.
If you eat according to that, it handles food effortlessly.
Yes.
Every human experience has a chemical basis in the system.
Right.
So, if you want to create the right kind of chemistry, there are various things that one can do.
Yes.
One of the things is food. If you create a chemistry of blissfulness, that's how you are all the time.
That's impossible. I'm not going to argue in your temple, that's for sure. I'm dying to see the kitchens.
Let's go.
Thank you.
So the guru reckons being vegetarian makes you a joyful, calmer person. If that's true, then his kitchens must be amongst the happiest places on earth.
The size of this place. Wow. It's a veggie hangout. Look at all those vegetables. Are they grown here?
A bit of it.
That's incredible. Okay. And here, the lychees.
Would you like one?
I'd love one, please, thank you. How long are you here for?
For a while.
For a while.
You're breaking the fundamental rule. Nobody ever eats in the kitchen. Before the food is being offered to everybody, they never eat.
You can't eat around food. We're always picking in kitchens, no? Fancy a cucumber?
No, I'm fine.
Fancy a lychee? You gave me it, got me into trouble. We're not allowed to eat in the kitchen. How many meals would you be cooking for today?
7,000.
7,000. 7,000 vegetarian meals.
Yes.
Well, that breaks my heart.
The 70 chefs are mostly unpaid volunteers who work 7 days on the trot, feeding visitors to the ashram.
Where's the meat section?
The meat is here. This is the meat.
So what is this section?
They are making a special type of chapati.
7,000 in for dinner tonight, and look how calm it is. How come the kitchen's so calm? Because they're not eating meat, right?
Because it's the heaven's kitchen.
Heaven's kitchen, not hell's kitchen. I like that.
The guru's disciples eat in a communal dining hall in total silence. Men and women sit in separate lines. Tonight's menu is a raw salad of red cabbage and sweet corn, tomato chutney with lentils and cottage cheese. It's not exactly silver service. Eating in silence isn't easy for someone like me. Fortunately, I've made a new friend.
You can even keep your feet to the side like this.
That's fine. I'll try and cross them. God.
Another way, just stretch both your legs out
Yes.
and sit like this on the
Do
side.
you mind if I do that?
This is called grandmother style.
Grandmother's son. It's incredible. I feel so bad. I can't cross my legs. There.
Notice if you, the kind of food that you eat also makes the body loose and flexible as well.
So you're saying if I become a vegetarian, my body will become a lot more flexible.
That possibility is there.
I can't. I can sit down, but I can't get to my food.
You can just hold your plate.
Certainly, of course. Thank you. Food is actually delicious. What amazes me is not just the level of integrity, but the volume of what they cook for, because it's done with such precision. You ever ask for more?
you want, we can get it.
I never thought I'd say this, but that veggie meal has left me feeling happy and full.
Wow. What's this here? What are these? Bedtime at 10 p.m. My God.
Yesterday was a surprise, but I've not been turned into a veggie disciple yet. We've not had breakfast yet. The guru's cooking his speciality. The popular masala dosa is a pancake made with dal and rice batter.
That smells good. Smells very good.
It's mildly fermented. That's the potato. It's an art to get the dosa right because you have to ferment it to exactly to right proportions.
That's delicious. Very crispy.
See, this is a pepper curry. You just try a little bit of it. The pepper comes straight from our backyard.
Oh, really?
It's organically grown.
Thank you.
Try this and see, it could be a little spicy for you.
Yeah, no, I like that.
I've been won over by the delicious food, but I'm not yet convinced by the guru's reasoning.
For me,
But you're
a
blocking
vegetable is as alive as a chicken or a lamb or whatever else
so
you eat.
wrong.
It is not wrong.
Are you saying that a carrot has the same feelings as a chicken?
That's not the point. Feelings does not mean emotions. They are sensitive to life around them.
Yes.
You understand?
But you've killed it. You pulled it from the ground.
You pulled it from the ground, but it's
No.
not dead.
But
If you plant it, it'll grow.
you take such a high moral ground in terms of no meat eating whatsoever.
Food is not a morality. Food is a question of well-being.
So are you saying that I would be happier for the second half of my life without eating meat?
You will be calmer, more at ease.
But I am calm. I am.
I don't think the world thinks so about your calmness.
You wouldn't know, you don't have any televisions here. So, let's agree to disagree, yes? Spud, potato, love it. Thank you. That was a lovely breakfast, thank you.
It's taken a long time, but you heard it here first. I'm calling a ceasefire with vegetarians.
If you're ever thinking of going vegetarian, then get to an ashram quickly, because that's the confirmation of how good it can be.
I think he's gesticulating much less than yesterday. Don't you notice that? His body movements are little…
First of all, I'm definitely more chilled out, there's no two ways about that. Yeah, it has been an experience.
The guru has one final request before we say goodbye.
One day in a week, if you eat this kind of food, you would know the difference.
One day a week, and you'd think I'd notice a significant impact?
You will definitely notice that.
I can't believe you're saying that.
Huh?
Because just before I left for India, my wife was suggesting that the children go vegetarian
See, she knows.
one day a week. Have you been talking to her behind my back?
No. We'll start with one day. It'll be good. Try and see.
On the back of the experience here, yes, I'm going to consider it.
Wow. Seeing that collab between Gordon Ramsay and Sadhguru was very cool to see, especially since this is all focused on food. I think it was really cool to have Gordon Ramsay on that show and connected with Sadhguru because there were very two different perspectives put onto the plate with regards to food. I do want to first applaud and give props to Gordon Ramsay for seeking that discomfort and really stepping outside his comfort zone from that nice English, maybe relatively luxurious background that he has, to an ashram in India, which is very simple, very humble, and very minimalistic. So for him to really go out of his way to experience this, I want to truly applaud him for that. Also, it was really cool to see Sadhguru just roaring in with the bike and then having Gordon Ramsay hop on the back. This is such a beautiful video to see, and one of my favorites, to be honest. Now, since food was the main topic here, some of the things that I have to say and what I've learned from Sadhguru and just the spiritual journey itself are a couple of things. And that includes, this body is literally what you eat. So that whole phrase of you are what you eat, it's pretty true, at least to the extent of this body. And so what you give the body, regardless of whether it's good or bad or immoral or moral, as Sadhguru says, it's not even about that. It's what is optimal for the well-being of this body and the functioning of it, as well as the mind. Whereas seeing Gordon Ramsay's perspective on this, which is more taste-oriented and what's great for the mouth, there's nothing wrong with that. But at least from what I've learned and experienced, food itself only enters the mouth, but the mouth is only such a small part of what happens to the food. It goes to the mouth, which in this case are the taste buds, gets even digested there, eventually goes to the rest of your system, and eventually feeds your cells. And so as the food enters all these different parts of the body, and if you're to really just be conscious of how taste is important, but not all that matters, then you naturally will start feeding and giving the body the optimal foods, whether it's the primarily vegetarian foods or, again, just whatever is best for the system functioning properly. Also, to share a little experience that I've had with food, I'll have to be honest and say that I used to just love meat and was a huge chicken boy. So whether it's Chick-fil-A or Taco Bell, you get the idea. But that's because at that point in time, I was a lot more unconscious and really just cared about taste. All these great foods, but at the same time, it wasn't really optimal for the function of the body. As a result, now I've transitioned into more of a yogic diet. And what that really just entails is two main things. One, involving fasting every so 15 days, or in this case it'd be Ekadashi. And the second thing is eating a primarily fruit and vegetable diet with the sprinkling of fish and seafood here and there. That has been my experience with the food, and honestly, I've been feeling the best ever with regards to physical, mental, all aspects of life. It really just feels like I'm always energized. Whereas in the past, I'd be very lethargic, tired, sleepy after eating. And food should give you energy. It shouldn't make you sleepy, right? And now I'd love to hear what Keith has to say about his experiences with food and his take on the video.
I thought it was a great video. Personally, I'm vegan, and contrary to popular belief, I don't cram it down people's throats. Most don't, actually. But I resonated a lot with what you were saying and also what he was saying, in the sense that what you put into your body really does have an impact on not just your mood, your energy, your productivity, and even just your happiness in general. If I have a lot of calories, I will go to sleep for the next 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the day. Like I go into a bit of a food coma. It happens, and it's not the point, but it's emblematic of the point. It's I used to eat a lot of meat, a lot of eggs. And I think an important distinction here is vegetarian is eating no meat, whereas vegan is eating no meat or animal products. That includes eggs or butter. And I feel great. I tend to come from more of a practical side. So I have a lot of friends who are in the bodybuilding community or the fitness community. One of the questions that I get most often is like, how do you put on mass? It's the same, maybe even a little easier. It's like, and I've noticed my energy levels are better. Like if you look at some of the strongest animals in the world, gorillas, hippos, well, hippos probably not a great example, but elephants, rhinos,
Yes.
they all eat plants. And it just, like, and again, it's not a one-to-one, obviously they're different animals, but we've known a lot of these things are bad for us for a long time. Red meats are carcinogenic. Eggs have really high cholesterol. Butter is not good for you in general. Like a lot of these things that we've kind of just given ourselves excuses to continue to eat. It was definitely a conscious choice for me. I guess one of the things that I found really interesting is Sadhguru tends to live a very simple life, and lots of people live on rice and beans. Like they work just fine. Meat is a relatively recent thing introduced into people's diet historically. It's always been a luxury. Most of what people ate was always plants, and so that's almost entirely what we subsisted on. From a biological perspective, we're not so much omnivores, we're much closer to fruitarians if you actually look at our intestines. We're not really designed to be able to process huge amounts of meat, and it's like giving a car the wrong kind of fuel. It'll work for a while, but you'll start having problems you probably shouldn't have otherwise. It was a lot more disjointed than I was intending it to be, but that's my take on it. I thought it was a great video. And honestly, I applaud Gordon Ramsay for being as open to it as he is. Your diet is one of those things that tends to be one of those assumptions and things from childhood that you take forth with you. And when you start questioning those things, it can be really hard to have an open mind to it, which is one of the problems that vegans run into most often is if you seem to be deviating from the norm, it's easy to conflate that with evangelicism, and it's not the same. And it is its own struggle to talk about these kind of things and have these open conversations and not come across as
Self-righteous?
Yeah, self-righteous is a good term. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Keith, for sharing that perspective and experience. Thank you all so much for also watching this, and make it a great day, take a joyful and stay conscious.